hope these girls are enjoyable. I saw the way she eats a bagel. She eats it like a sandwich, which is okay. You like to get globs of cream cheese on it. You can't do it that way. And so, yeah, I don't understand that. But in any event, Mr. Baker, you're still under oath, and you may continue.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Baker.
Good morning.
We broke off yesterday. I believe you were talking about your relationship with Monica Sementilli and some of the friends you had. At various times, did you travel to Las Vegas with any of your friends?
Yes.
And on some of those occasions, was Monica with you?
No, I think she just went with me when we went.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, just with me,
with
yeah.
you?
Yeah, just with me, no.
Okay.
I thought you meant with friends.
But we've shown photographs of you with her and friends of yours, Ray, Susan, Von Ray, and so forth. Did you have social gatherings with her and them at the in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Was this, as far as you know, not known to her husband or family?
Correct.
Okay. How many times would you say you went to Las Vegas with her?
I think just twice.
Who paid for it?
I think I paid for once, and then she took me for my birthday the next time.
And did you have dinner with any of your friends there?
On the birthday, yes.
Let me show you some pictures, Mr. Baker. Let me know if you know any of them. This is Exhibit 62. Do you know that individual?
I do.
Who is that?
It's Sheila.
You know her last name?
It's a weird last name. Selena, something like that.
Okay. And did Sheila have a boyfriend or husband?
She had a boyfriend.
And now I'm showing you another picture of a male. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, it's Ricardo.
Okay. Is that her husband?
That was the guy she was dating.
Okay. And did you ever see them in Las Vegas?
Yes.
With
Yes.
With Monica?
Yes.
Was there any conversation with them about you and Monica, about you marrying her or going off with her or anything like that?
It was brought up.
Who brought it up?
That I don't remember. It may have been them probably, because they were into that kind of thing.
And what was your response?
I was kind of paying attention and just listening, and I could tell that, Monica didn't want to really talk about it, so I stayed away from it.
Okay. Did you ever tell any of them that you planned to run off with Monica or kill her husband or anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
When did you first think in your mind, or start planning, if you would, that you might intend to kill Monica Sementilli's husband, Fabio?
It was kind of an abstract idea. I don't know, like in middle of 16, but it wasn't even really a serious thought. It was just like what if it comes to this type of thing in my head? What if it comes to that type of thing? And I kind of blew it off.
Okay. And at some point, I assume you started thinking about it again.
Yeah, correct.
Can you tell us approximately when that might have been?
I don't know, maybe September, I don't know, August, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think about that either, but it was like September, August.
Okay. Did you share your plans or even thoughts with anybody else?
No. It wasn't a plan that was etched in stone at all.
You knew an individual by the name of Alfred Birdsong, is that right?
Yes.
And did you plan to kill Fabio Sementilli with Alfred Birdsong involved?
Correct. Correct.
Without him involved?
without him involved.
Did you ever tell him about it?
No.
To your mind, as far as you were involved, when was he first advised that you had committed that murder, if you know? Did you ever tell him?
I never told him anything directly.
Okay. But you would see him in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Did you ever arrange some kind of a sexual threesome, if you would, between Mr. Birdsong and Monica and yourself?
I didn't arrange anything.
Do you know if that occurred?
Not that I know. Not around me. It didn't.
Do you know if they had sex together?
Don't know that either.
What about Mr. Austin? When did you tell me a little bit about?
No sex with Mr. Austin.
No. Okay. When did you first meet Mr. Austin?
You mean in my life or when? What do you mean?
Well, let's start briefly in your life.
First time I met him, he was a baby.
Okay. Did your families grow up together, basically?
Yes.
And that was what state?
In North Carolina.
Okay. Was he in the armed services as well?
No.
Did you have any kind of special relationship with Mr. Austin when he was growing up and you were growing up?
Actually, I used to be best friends with his. I'm best friends with his father.
Okay. So his father, what about your father? Was he friends with Mr. Austin's father or just you?
Just me. Just me.
And are you older than Mr. Austin?
You mean his father?
Age.
His father?
Well, the young one, Christopher.
Oh yeah, by far.
Father, I assume, was older than you.
No, he was a year older than me. We went to school together.
You and the father?
Yeah.
So did you have a special relationship?
But me and the father?
Yeah? Yes.
Yeah. He's my best friend.
Okay. And did that carry over to his son, Christopher?
Yeah.
Christopher have a special name for you?
Unc.
Unc?
Yeah.
Like uncle?
Yeah. Short for uncle.
And did you remain Unc and Unc to him for many years?
Yes.
When you came out to Los Angeles, did Mr. Austin, Christopher, follow you?
Yeah, he did.
So he was living in Los Angeles around the time you were?
No, he came later afterwards.
And when he came out to you, did your relationship continue?
Yes.
Did you work with him or assist him in getting work?
Well, he worked with me. He helped me do what I needed to get done, and he also took a part-time job at the same time to gain extra money.
What work did he do for you?
He ran errands. He took care of things. He did the groundwork because most of the time I stayed in the office. I'm on the phone all day, so he did the stuff I couldn't do.
He was like an assistant?
Yeah.
And did he remain in Los Angeles the entire time through the murder of Fabio Sementilli?
No. He left in '08. He had to go take care of some family matters.
And where did he go?
He went to Alaska.
And that's where he had his family?
That's where that's where his family was. Part of it.
And did he ever come down from Alaska to be with you or go on a vacation with you or
All
anything
the
of
time.
that nature?
Yeah, all the time.
Go to Las Vegas?
Went to Vegas all the time too. Yeah.
Did you introduce him to Monica?
I'm murky on that. I think I introduced him at the gym. I think, but it wasn't intentional.
Okay. So he had come to the gym as well,
Right.
but on a vacation.
Right.
Okay. Did he always live in, where did he live in Alaska?
I don't know.
Anchorage?
Yeah, or the city. Yeah, city of Anchorage.
Okay. And did you keep in touch with him?
All the time.
Let me get, if I may at this time, to the murder of Fabio Sementilli. When did that thought become more than just a thought in your mind? When did you start thinking that you might do that?
Around the holidays.
Christmas holidays?
Yeah.
That would be 2016.
Yes.
And did the Christmas holidays have some effect on you that
It was sort of.
convinced you that you thought you might do this?
It was a tipping point. Yeah.
And can you tell us why?
Well, up to that point, I had been seeing Monica a lot, on and off, and it had been good. I guess Fabio was staying home a lot, So that means I was limited to seeing her a lot. And
Why was
holiday,
that? Was she with the family?
right? She was at the family. She couldn't get to the phone. I couldn't see her, and it played a little number on me, and it was bad because I would want to talk to her and see her, and it just wasn't happening, and it was, I can't, and it was that type of thing.
So how were you spending your time during the Christmas holidays that year?
Well, I stayed in L.A. for a little bit, but I went to Vegas, I believe, for Thanksgiving. I can't remember, but I know I went to Vegas for a short time and wind up coming back to L.A.
Did you discuss these plans with anybody else?
At that point, no.
Okay. At some point, did you enlist the assistance of someone? Or ask someone if...
Eventually, I had kind of put it out to test Chris, to test him to see if he would. I needed someone to do this, so I could create an alibi.
You needed someone to do what?
If I was going to do this, if I was going to do this to this man, I needed somebody to do this to create an alibi. I needed someone to kill him, so I can create an alibi.
And the individual you selected was who?
Somebody I trusted, which was Chris.
Was there anyone you trusted more?
No.
Was he loyal to you?
Yeah.
You thought he would do this just because you asked him?
Yeah, but he knew there was going to be some kind of perk. I'm not going to just, I'm not going to just ask him to do something and not.
Had you committed any criminal acts with Mr. Austin before?
No.
So give us a time frame we're talking about now. Still Christmas?
It's around Christmas. Yeah, Christmas when I really wanted to pull the trigger. I kind of talked to him about it in October, maybe September. I kind of discussed it with him just to feel it out.
And what was your goal? Your ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal was to be with her. That's the ultimate goal.
Well, you were with her already.
Eventually on a permanent basis. It may have taken 2-3 years, but eventually on that type of scale.
Did you ever think of convincing her to divorce her husband and marrying you?
We talked about it, but that wasn't going to happen. I could see that.
Were you concerned she might go back to her husband?
That was always a possibility.
You wanted her for yourself?
I wanted her for myself. Yeah. I wanted to be happy.
Okay. So when would you say you seriously decided that you were going to do this?
In January.
Right. And did you enlist Mr. Austin?
I did. I asked him, I needed you to come down. And
where was he living now?
He was still in Alaska.
Okay. And when you said, I need you to come down, tell us what you said to him and how.
I didn't. I just told him, I need you to come down. I need to talk to you. I wasn't talking over the phone. I wasn't texting or any of that.
Right. Did he have a birthday around that time?
He did.
When was that?
I think it was the 20th or something like that.
Of January?
I think it was somewhere around there. I forgot when it was.
So did you have him come down?
I did.
And when did you first see him when he came down?
I don't remember the dates. I don't have any of that stuff in front of me.
Well, let's use the date as a marker of January 23rd, which was the date of the murder. You know that?
I'm going to take your word for it, yeah.
Okay, 2017. How long before then did Mr. Austin come down to Los Angeles?
I think it was like days.
Days?
Yeah, I think it was days.
Okay. And how did he come down, if you know?
He flew down.
Pardon?
He flew down.
Okay. Did he get his own tickets, or did you arrange for his tickets? How'd that work?
I let him arrange for his tickets.
Schedule the flights?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how he was coming down, and what airlines, and whether he was flying direct or not?
I did. I know everything.
How was he coming down?
Through the airlines. I mean, I can't remember the details.
Okay.
I don't have all that stuff.
But I'm saying, did you buy the tickets, or did he?
He bought the tickets.
Who paid for them?
He bought them, but I got him the money.
How'd you get him the money?
I usually gave him a spare credit card I always had, and I let him pull the money out of a ATM.
So when you say a spare credit card, was this a legitimate card in your
Yeah.
name or someone else's name?
It wasn't mine.
And it was just a card you used for special occasions or something?
Right. It was like a. I forget the name of it, but it's been so long ago. It wasn't my direct credit card. It was one you can get for special purchases, like for online stuff and stuff like that.
Okay, but a legitimate card.
Yes.
And how would he use your credit card if you know?
I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure he pulled money out of an ATM. I'm sure that's how he did it.
So you had to get him the card, I assume, or a password or something.
Right. I sent him the card and give him the information, and he does what he wants with it. So if he ever needed money, period, whether it was for that or anything else, he could pull it.
He was that close to you?
Yes.
Had you on prior occasions, or had he on prior occasions borrowed or taken money from you to use from that credit card?
I don't remember. Because I always gave him money when I see him.
But was it always at your direction you would give, or did he just do it on his own, or do you remember?
If he wanted to, he could have done it on his own.
Did he take advantage of that?
I don't know. He might have. I didn't pay attention to the records like that.
Well, it was your money.
Yeah, no. I didn't pay attention like that.
All right. In any event, he came down on a ticket purchased by you or repaid by you, correct?
Right. Well, by the money I gave him.
Right. And then what was the plan at that point?
Pick him up
Where?
at the airport,
LAX?
LAX airport, come back, and then give him an idea of the plan.
Okay.
Well, actually let him know what I had planned and substantiate it, and then try to figure out how the best way to do it.
Okay. Did he come down?
He did come down.
And was it Monday, Sunday, Saturday, if you recall?
I don't remember. I don't really remember.
Okay.
Whatever is said on the itinerary is the day it came down.
How many days before the murder?
I don't know the day. I don't know what day it came down.
A few days, a week, a month?
Yeah, a few days.
Was that around his birthday?
Was his birthday? I don't know. I don't.
Your Honor, to all of this is being speculative.
It's overruled.
Well, let me find out. All right, the murder took place on January 24th. His birthday,
Objection misstates the evidence.
It does.
23rd, I'm sorry. January 23rd, his birthday, is it January 20th sound correct to you?
Yeah, sounds right.
Okay. So did he come down on the 20th?
He was there on the 20th. Yeah.
At the airport?
He was already there at the 20th. I'm sure.
Okay.
Because I remember taking him out on his birthday, and I also remember telling him one of the other reasons why I brought him down. I was opening another business. I was getting ready to open another business because I had one already, and I was getting ready to do another one.
Okay.
So I was going to talk to him about that, about him coming down. Also, that was all part of it. It was the whole package, the whole thing.
Did you pick him up?
I did.
Where'd you take him?
I believe I went straight back to the house or to the apartment.
Okay. And when did you first discuss with him what your intentions were?
When I was bringing him from the airport to the apartment, because it was safe to talk him to with the truck. It was safer to talk about it.
Okay, what'd you tell him?
I just basically said I said I think I want to go ahead and get this thing going. I told him because actually I thought about it. We had talked that if I ever needed you for something like this, I might need you. And he said, just whenever you need me, Unc, that type of thing. So I said I might need you for something like this, and it was regarding this. I said I don't have a plan yet because I just need to get this done.
And when you say get this done, what'd you tell him you wanted to get done?
That I needed to kill it. I wanted to get rid of this guy. I just told him I wanted to get rid of this guy.
Did you tell him why?
Yeah, I told him I wanted. He knew why because I had told him when I had told Bird and him when we had talked earlier that year that I was in a relationship with her. They know that she's the only one I was in a relationship with. They know that, so they know it had to be this guy. He knew he had to be that guy.
Austin.
Yes, he knew that had been him because I was only seeing Monica. That was it.
Now, he came down on the 22nd, the records show, of January.
I don't know the dates because I don't have any of this information.
But my question is, when did you tell him that you were going to kill Fabio Sementilli?
For sure, it was whenever he arrived that day, whatever day that was.
And when you told him that, what was his response?
He was quiet. He just listened. He just listened.
Did he agree? Did he say no? Did he say anything?
No, he just listened. He didn't agree. He didn't say. He just listened.
Okay. And what did you tell him, if anything, his role was going to be in the murder?
Well, he knew that I couldn't be around. That was the general idea, that I couldn't be around in order to make this thing work the way I kind of wanted it to work.
You needed an alibi?
Yeah. So I couldn't be around. So he knew that he would have to pull this thing off, and I would try to figure this out during that time span.
Right. How was he supposed to kill Fabio Sementilli?
Well, a gun was out of the question because it's too loud. And figured the best way to use was a knife.
What kind of knife was used?
Kind of a small one, maybe 8-inch knife.
And whose knife was that?
That one was the one I had. I've had the whole time.
Is that the knife? Did you give the knife to him to use to kill Fabio Sementilli?
Yes.
When did you give it to him?
The night we tried to put the plan into action was the night I actually gave it to him.
Okay.
But I've had the knife for a while.
And did you have another knife?
No, that was the only one I had for that time.
Okay. He was staying at your house?
Stayed in my apartment.
Okay. What's the next thing that happened?
I needed to figure out a time where he would be isolated, when Fabio would be isolated. So I needed to know a time.
Were you in communication with Monica during this time period?
Regarding this, no, but I'm always talking to Monica, especially if he's moving around. She usually calls me or texts me, hey, I got a few minutes just to say hello, that type of thing. You know, like.
Did you use that to try to determine where Fabio was?
I always did that.
Did you stalk her?
Did I stalk her?
Yeah.
I don't know. What does that mean?
Well, were you always driving around her or knowing where she was or trying to find out?
No, nothing like that.
But would she tell you where Fabio was each day?
Well, if she's texting me or calling me, that means that she has free time. So she would always tell me, you know, I'm by myself or whatever the case may be.
Would she do that on Viber or regular text message?
It was always Viber.
Always Viber?
Yeah, we always Viber. We always Vibe.
So you have Mr. Austin down. He's going to assist you. Did he know did you tell him he was going to do it alone and you were going to create an alibi for yourself?
He knew that.
Did he ever refuse?
No.
You never got up and just left, went away?
No.
Okay.
Well, no.
What's the next thing that happened?
Where do we leave off at? I'm lost.
Well,
At the apartment, right?
you're at the apartment. Was the plan put into effect?
Well, again, waited for an opportunity.
Okay,
And
did that opportunity come?
the opportunity came in the form of text, how you doing, babe, or something like that. And it was usually when that happens, either he's getting ready to go somewhere or he's gone already, because she's never going to text me or call me usually if he's around or he's in the house. It's never going to happen.
All right. So what did you find out about his whereabouts?
She said he's getting ready to go pick up some Chinese food or something like that, Asian food. So
Had you known him from her to do that before?
Go where?
Pick up Chinese food?
Oh yeah. Well, she says they go to two different places, It was one place. There was two places on Ventura that they always go to.
What were their names, if you remember?
I just know where one of them is. I just know where they are. I just know where they are. I don't exactly know their names.
Where are they?
One is like in Encino, and the other one is in like near Woodland Hills, off of. It's weird because I just know where they are. I just don't know their addresses. It's been 8 years. I don't know where any of this stuff is anymore.
Okay. And which one did she say he was going to go to?
The one closer to Encino.
Okay. Well, they live in Tarzana.
Who lives in Tarzana?
The Sementillis.
Oh, I thought they lived in Woodland Hills. I don't know. I just know again.
You know streets?
Huh?
You know streets?
Do I know the streets?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Ventura Boulevard.
yeah, I know that the main one. It's like when you go a certain route the same way over and over again. You tend to know the way, but don't know the addresses sometimes. That was one of those things.
So did you end up going to the restaurant where she said he was going to be?
Exactly.
Did you tell her what you were going to do?
Well, she didn't tell me where she didn't tell me where he was going to be. She just mentioned where he was going, and so I had to get there. She said he's getting ready to pick it up. He was getting ready to go there. So we were already kind of ready to go, based on if anything came up.
All right. Did you tell her what you were going to do?
No.
You just wanted to see her.
That day, no. I don't want to see her that day at all. This was nighttime.
Okay. So this is how you found out where he was going to be.
Correct.
Did you have Mr. Austin with you?
Yes.
Did you go there?
I did. My plan was, because he was ready, and the plan was to drop him off.
Mr. Austin?
Yep. And I'm leaving phones. I'm leaving phones at the apartment.
Why?
Well, not only because they can ping him eventually to find out, and there might be some way to track it eventually. So if I leave it there, there's my alibi. I make sure that I was seen right before I left, and maybe catch the neighbors or something so they could see me, and then hurry up and went down there because it wasn't very far away.
Do you remember where it was?
Off Ventura Boulevard.
Okay.
Down near Encino somewhere.
All right. And did you go there with Mr. Austin?
I did. I dropped him off.
What happened?
Dropped him off. Left him with the knife. He knew the kind of car he was going to take because he always drives that Porsche. And I showed him what he looked like online, so he knew what he looked like because he never met him. And then after that, he said he's going to just basically said he was going to get it done, and I rolled away to make sure I stayed out of view of cameras and stuff like that best I could.
So were you able to see where he went or what he did?
No.
He was going to kill Fabio Sementilli.
Well, that was the thought.
All right. Did he come back? He came back.
No, he called me because we had burner phones. He told me where he was.
Where was he?
Someplace in the back road, some back road somewhere. So when I went to go pick him up, he told me he couldn't do it.
Was that the first time you learned that he had not gone through with the plan?
That was it.
Okay. So did you return to your home?
We did.
All right. What's the next thing you did in terms of trying to carry out your plan?
Well, the next thought I came up with, I'm like, well, now he's involved with this, and if I did this thing in the future, he knows that I try to do this. So whatever happens, I can't let him go without nothing. I have
to be included in the plan
somewhere, somehow, because I needed to make sure if this thing ever happens somehow in the future, he would keep this with him and he wouldn't tell a soul.
Because he was involved.
He's now involved, and he knew that if something happened, to Fabio, that even if he wasn't there, chances are it was me, and he would know about it. So I had to include him, no matter how it happened.
You didn't trust him not to turn you in?
Not if you fail.
Okay. So, did he stay overnight?
He stayed overnight. He stayed until the next opportunity came, because I knew I had a couple of days before he would go back to Alaska. Now, mind you, I did talk to him about the other stuff too, about the business stuff, because that was part of it also. So we were talking about that.
The business stuff, you wanted him to join you in?
Yeah.
Okay. So when did the next opportunity come?
that, I guess the 23rd would be the day, would be the next opportunity. It came up again.
Next day? Was it the next day?
No, I think it was like 2 days later or something like that.
Do you have a clear memory 8 years later now of the dates and the times and so forth?
No, not really. I just know what happened for the most part. I'm not clear on the dates. I just know the 23rd, which you guys tell me.
Okay. And how did that play out?
So on the 23rd,
Did you know what day of the week, or remember what day of the week that was?
I believe it was a Monday.
Okay,
I
so
believe it was a
a
Monday.
work day.
Yeah, it was a work day. I believe it was a Monday.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
And did you find out anything that day about Fabio?
Well, yes, I did.
What?
So that morning, I get a text, and it was asking, "What are you doing?" And it was Monica texting me. And I'm like, she goes, "I got a little bit of time. I'm going to the gym. I got some time to go to the gym." So she goes, "You want to get some racquetball in?" So I'm like, "Sure." You know, so I'm not. There's no plan right now or nothing like that for what's going on. So I meet her at the gym. We start playing racquetball, and she tells me about her day. You know, and she always does that. She tells me about her day all the time. It was a ritual. And she was just saying that she was going to go, if I remember right, she was going to go buy food, go take her daughter, or pick her daughter up from school. Pick her daughter up from school later that night or that evening, and just let me know her day. So my mind, I'm listening to everything as she's telling me her day, and I'm kind of putting together that. Let's back up a little bit more. So during this time frame,
I'm going to object at this point, it's a narrative.
It is.
All right, tell me the next thing that happened after you found out that she was going to be out of the house. Did you know where Fabio was?
yes,
How did you find that out?
because he hadn't left the house the
Who
entire
told you
week.
that?
Huh?
Who told you that?
She did.
She
'Cause
told you he was staying home that day?
No. She said he was just staying home, period.
Okay. Did she tell you why?
No.
Okay.
She said she was staying home. He'd been home.
Okay. Then what?
I don't want to get into a narrative again, so I'm scared to answer the question.
Okay. Did you go to the gym?
I did go to the gym.
And did you see anyone there?
I met with her. She was there.
Okay.
And we started playing racquetball. After we had the discussion, we started playing racquetball.
Did you tell her anything about the plans you had to kill her husband?
Absolutely not.
Where was Mr. Austin?
He was in the apartment.
Waiting.
Yes.
Did you play racquetball with Monica?
Him to play racquetball? No, just
No,
me.
did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Did anything happen unusual while you were playing?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
Well, she usually hits me all the time when we play racquetball.
On purpose?
No, she just hits me because she was just learning, so I'm getting hit all the time. And she hit me with the ball and all kind of stuff. That day, she hit me with a racket and injured me
Where'd she hit you?
in my hand.
Okay. How bad was it?
It hurt. It hurt bad. It hurt enough to bleed. It bled a lot.
Did you let anybody know there at the racquetball place that you had been injured?
No, I wasn't paying attention. I mean, they might have saw it. I wasn't paying attention.
Did you continue playing or did you stop?
I stopped. Try to lick my wound, so to speak.
Okay. Put a Band-Aid on?
Yeah, after I stopped the bleeding, I did.
Okay. And how long were you there about at the LA Fitness then?
It wasn't that long because she said she didn't have that much time. She had to get back home.
Okay. Did you split up then?
Yeah, she went. She left. She went home.
Did she tell you she was going home?
Yeah, she had errands to run.
All right. Did she tell you what errands and when she was going?
Which she usually did. Yes.
All right. Where did you go after the racquetball court?
Me, I went back. I think I went back to the apartment, if I'm not mistaken. I think I went back to the apartment because I saw the opportunity that something might be able to pull this thing off.
Mr. Austin was still there?
He was still there.
All right. And when did you learn anything new about what Monica was going to do and where Fabio was?
It was nothing new from the time LA Fitness I saw her at LA Fitness. I pretty much had a good idea of what was going on with her plans for the day.
What?
Ran an errands, Ralph's. I'm assuming it was Ralph's, picking up. She said she had a couple other places to go. I can't remember, but she was going to be running around all over town. And at 5 o'clock or something like that, or 6 o'clock or something like that, she was going to be on her way home from picking up one of their daughters.
Okay. Did you have any plans to meet with her that day? Because she was out of the house doing things?
No, she said she was too busy. She was too busy.
And she said where Fabio was?
No. He hadn't left in days, so I knew he was going to be home.
So he was still home
He'd been home for a while.
that day?
That day, too.
Okay. So what happened next, Mr. Baker?
So now I got to talk to Chris and tell him what I see, what my plan is. So
What'd you tell him?
I told him, I said, I think we got a window to get this thing done. I need you to be a lookout. I need you to, that was to keep him involved in this whole thing. I need you to be a lookout. I just need you to watch and make sure nobody comes home and sees us. And so I can see, and just as somebody comes home that he sees us, we can get out of there. That was the plan. So I just needed him there. Because being honest with you, I was terrified the whole time doing it. So, but I still needed someone to look out.
Okay.
So plan was to go up.
Objection narrative.
I love this.
The plan was what?
Plan was to go up, get in there, try to take care of this as fast as possible, and
Kill her.
Yeah,
Then what? What else was the plan?
and get him out of there, and get back, and me have to establish an alibi again, if at all possible. That was my plan. So that means go back, go to work, and act like nothing happened. That was the plan.
Work meaning at LA
At
Fitness?
LA Fitness, yeah, because I still was scheduled to work that day.
Okay. So did you carry out the plan?
I did.
Tell us how it began.
Well-
What car were you using?
I was using a rental. I was using a rental.
What kind of rental?
I don't even remember the type. It was a gray. It was a silvery car, a small little silver car.
Does a Nissan Versa sound familiar?
That probably was it.
How did you get the rental car?
Well, I had someone get the rental car. I had someone get the rental car because
When?
that I don't remember the exact day, but it was during that weekend. It was during that weekend.
Was that for the purpose of the murder or for
No,
any
actually,
another reason?
Actually, it was for fixing my car. Actually, that's what it was really for. That's what it was really for. It just happened to fall into that. But
Your car wasn't operating correctly?
my Mustang wasn't, and I was having a battery problem with my Expedition. So I needed another car that was really reliable, so I can get this thing done, get it fixed.
And when did you get the rental car?
I don't remember the exact day.
Was it the day of the murder or before?
It was before. I think it was like a Friday or something. Or I think it was a Friday.
The murder was on a Monday.
Yeah.
So a few days before?
Yes.
Did you pick up the rental car or somebody else?
I think I went to go. I think I went to go get it. I can't remember. I can't remember.
Did someone rent it for you?
Yes.
Who was that?
Paula.
And who was Paula?
Paula is somebody who was at my racquetball league who I got involved with for a brief moment.
Was that before or after Monica?
That was way before Monica.
Okay. Was she still, as far as she was concerned, a girlfriend of yours, you know, or
I'm
seeing?
gonna check, that was all for speculation.
It's a rule.
Repeat the question, please.
Did you still have an ongoing relationship with her, similar to what you were doing with Monica, or was that
No,
over?
that was over. But Paula wouldn't go away.
All right. So she wanted to be with you as well.
I'm assuming.
So you had her help get the rental car.
Because yes.
Did you tell her what you needed it for?
I told her, yeah, I need to get my car fixed.
Did you tell her it was part of a plot to kill Monica's husband?
No.
So what did she do? Drop it off?
No, I dropped the car off after it was done.
How did you get it to begin with?
I think I remember going with her to pick it up, but I drove off with it.
You remember where?
It was on Enterprise. But yeah, I know where it is. I don't know exactly where it was.
Well, was it in the valley near your
Yeah,
home?
Valley. Yeah, it was close by.
And what'd you do with your Mustang? You say you were driving at that time?
It was still parked in my garage.
Okay.
That's right. She had to pick me up. That's right. Now I remember.
So what day is this, if you recall, Mr. Baker, in relation to the murder?
I think it was on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're driving in the rental car
Right.
instead of your Mustang.
Well, yes. Eventually, I got it fixed, so I drove all the cars through the weekend.
Okay. What car did you pick Mr. Austin up at the airport?
My Expedition.
Okay. That the one that you needed to get fixed?
Yeah, I needed to fix that. There was a battery problem with it.
So when did you take your Expedition in to get fixed, if you did, before, and then change to the rental car? Do you remember that? Is that too long ago or what?
I don't remember the day, but it was like the next day.
Okay. So now we're on a Monday when Fabio Sementilli is home and she's off doing errands, right?
Okay.
What about her kids? Did you know where her daughters were?
She had mentioned. Well, I knew for sure that Isabella was going to school because she said she was going to pick her up from school after she ran her errands that day. So I did know that, and she said she mentioned that Jessica was going to be doing something. I can't remember what it was, but she was out. She was doing something that day, so I knew she was gone that day.
Do you remember Jessica ever babysitting?
I think that was it, if I'm not mistaken. That sounds familiar.
Okay. I know it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so you know the two girls are out of the house,
Yes.
and Monica is.
Yes.
Is that when you plan to kill Fabio?
That was the general idea.
Okay. So, do you drive there?
We drove. My plan was to drive part of the way because I didn't want cameras picking up anything
Where was Mr. Austin when you were driving?
in the passenger seat.
Okay. Go on.
Okay, so found a spot where the car was kind of out the way, and I told him we were going to jog up to the house.
Was he ever in the trunk?
Oh, that was way before that. That was way before that.
Does the car even have a trunk or a hatchback or what?
The back seat folds in the back, and I told him because I really didn't want no one seeing him the whole time he was there. I didn't want no one to identify nothing about him because I wanted him to go home in peace. So I told him,
You're trying to protect him?
yes. So I didn't put him in the trunk. So I told him to get in the back seat because when we pull out of my garage, somebody may see him. So I don't want no one to see him at all. So I said, just go to the back seat. And somebody came through the garage. And I'm trying to remember how this went down. And then I said, just get in the back so they can't see you. Just pull the seat down and go through in the trunk. And that's how we wound up in the trunk.
Well, is it a trunk or what? A hatchback or what?
It was a sedan. It's a sedan, but the back seat folds down.
So was he lying on the back seat after it folded down?
Yeah. And then eventually I had him come to the front seat when we got out of the area where it was congested with people.
Okay. Did you know where Monica Sementilli lived with her husband and 2 children?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I had been there a couple of times before.
Okay. So where did you drive? Did you drive or did Mr. Austin?
I drove the entire time.
Okay. And where did you drive?
I drove to an off spot in some neighborhood. I don't know the street.
How far away from the Sementilli house?
Too far. It was a distance because I was tired when I got there.
Was that intentional that you parked that far away or not?
It was.
Okay. And the purpose was?
To not identify the car or us
Okay.
as best as possible.
How were you dressed?
Athletic wear, sweats, tennis shoes,
How was Mr. Austin dressed?
same thing, some kind of black hoodie or something.
Were those his clothes or did you give them to him?
Some were his and some I gave him.
What about your facial area? Did you do anything to mask that?
Hoodies.
For
Hoodies.
both of you?
Yeah, hoodies to cover up. Just in case anything got picked up.
So you drove to a location.
Yes.
Do you remember where that location was?
No, I don't.
Then what'd you do next?
Got out the car.
Did you have your hoodies on?
When we started getting to congested areas, we put our hoodies on, like we're jogging, like we're working out, like it was a workout.
Did you know where to go?
I knew where to go. Yeah, I knew where to go.
Did Mr. Austin know where to go?
No.
So he
doesn't
was
know.
following you.
Yeah. He doesn't know where to go.
Did either of you have a knife?
I had the knife.
Did you believe Mr. Austin had a knife?
No.
What did you do next?
So we jog all the way up.
Jog?
Well, jog, walk.
Okay.
Because I was kind of old at the time when all this happened. I was tired.
Do you have any idea, as you sit here now, how many blocks or how far away it was for you
I'm
to
guessing a mile and a
jog?
half, maybe.
Hold on. Till you got to the Sementilli house?
About a mile and a half.
Okay. And were you jogging, walking, or both?
Jogging and walking.
Okay. Did you pass any people or cars?
Passed plenty of cars, plenty of people.
And what did you do? Try not to be recognized. Just keep jogging?
Keep jogging.
Do you remember at all, Mr. Baker, the route that you took or the streets that you took to get to the Sementilli house?
The only part I remember is going through the main street where it leads up to the house. There's just like one. The other way, I don't remember exactly. It was some back way. I was trying to avoid the ways I normally drive and go.
Well, did you come up the main street they lived on?
Yes.
You had been there before.
Yes.
That, certainly the night that you slept over and were drunk that night.
That
you
was one of
remember?
them.
Okay. So you arrive at the house, and what do? How do you get in?
Well, go through the side. There's a side door, a side entrance. It's usually open.
Is there a gate in front of the house?
There is a gate. It's open most of the time.
Was it open that day?
I think so. Yeah.
So how did you
It was open.
enter the house?
Through the back.
Okay, when you say the back, do we have a... I'll ask you some questions, and then Mr. Babbage is going to get a photograph of the house area. So you go around to the back with Mr. Austin,
Correct.
and how do you get into the house? Well, you tell me what you did next.
Go to the back, approaching the house to make sure that I don't run into him. That's the biggest thing. So I'm being cautious to go in to make sure I can see if I can find him.
Did you know where he was likely to be?
No, I didn't. It was a stab in the dark. So I was very cautious from the time we hit that property.
You didn't know you would be outside?
Exactly. So if he was outside, we'd have kept on running. So, kept on, approached cautiously, looked to make sure that nobody was around, nobody was looking, see if there was anybody outside. No one.
Did you see anybody outside?
No.
Okay, did you get in the house?
Did get in the house through the back door.
Okay, I'm going to show you some photographs, Mr. Austin, Mr. Baker, and see if you recognize any of these. This is Exhibit 9, number 7. That's an aerial view of the Sementilli house. You recognize that at all?
Not from the top, but I know I got the arrangement of the house. I see it now.
This is the pool area, and that's the patio area. I'm sorry, here's the patio area.
You got to see it?
Pool area.
Got you.
That's the street.
Right there.
See the street here?
Yep.
So how did you go? Can you show us how you went? Well,
Yeah,
let me give you maybe a better view to begin with.
Okay, well, this looks different.
Page 8 of Exhibit 9. Do you recognize that as being the front of the house?
Yeah, barely. I remember though.
Okay, now
long
if
time
you're
ago.
jogging up the street, can you point and show us?
You cannot.
You cannot. Well, let me try to help you. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. Are you coming from this direction?
Correct.
Okay.
Right there, make a left.
Now this is the gate to the driveway leading into the house. Was it open?
Yes.
Okay. You go up here. There's a front door to the left or the center, and then there's a way to get around the house that way.
And that's
Which
the
way
way.
did you use to get into the house?
The way you just said, around to the back.
Went around.
Yeah.
And this is Exhibit 9, page 13, and this shows the back area of the house. Did you go through one of? Did you go through one of these sliding doors to
Do
get
I
in?
object to the leading?
It's a rule.
Do you remember whether you went into one of those sliding doors?
There's a sliding door. We went through one of those sliding doors. I can't tell which one is which.
Okay.
This way.
But did you get into the house?
Yes.
You and Mr. Austin.
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Went inside the house and went to the bedroom.
Anybody in the bedroom?
Nobody's in the bedroom because it's very, very cautious. Before we even went in, we had to make sure everything was. I had to make sure everything was clear.
Then where did you go?
Then slowly try to spread out, and I told him, I said, "Follow me, stay quiet." And I needed him to go to the front to watch the front, to watch the front area to make sure that if anybody came home, we could get out of there.
Did he do that?
Yes, he did.
Where did you go?
I went the other way, slowly, and start trying to see if I can see him.
Did
and
you
find
see him?
Eventually, I did.
Where?
He was sitting at the patio.
Okay. And what was he doing on the patio?
He was on the phone, and he was looking at paperwork or looking at some kind of paper or something.
Was he in some kind of chair or couch or anything, or was
Yeah,
he
he was
standing
sitting.
up?
He was sitting.
All right. And how would you get to him if you wanted to get to him at that point?
That was kind of the problem. I was trying to figure that out. So I figured the best way to do it is either go to the side or go directly through the kitchen.
What did you choose?
I decided to go to the kitchen, but I had to wait.
All right. Now, after you decided that, what happened with Mr. Austin?
He was still at the front, as far as I know. He was still at the front, but I'm sure he was moving around, looking around, because I know he was nervous as hell.
Well, did he ever come to your location before you went to kill Mr. Sementilli?
He came to check to see what was going on. Yeah, he came to check
Okay, so now he's with you.
for a moment.
Okay. What's the next thing you do?
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do this.
Well, you had your knife, right?
Yes. So I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm actually, I kind of want to leave. But I know I can't.
Well, you could have, but you didn't.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I couldn't.
isn't that
I
right?
couldn't. Yes.
So what do you end up doing?
So I wound up going through the kitchen.
Now, where was Mr. Austin when you went through the kitchen?
I don't know where he was. I wasn't looking for him. I was concentrating on what I needed to do.
Was it your intent to have him physically help you kill Mr. Sementilli?
No, he was the lookout. I didn't need him for that.
He's supposed to be the lookout.
Right.
So describe, if you can, it's a long time ago, but I'm sure this is something you've lived with for a long time and remember.
I'm going to object to the leading of the testimony by counsel.
Sustained.
All right, just tell us what you did next.
Go to the front door. Go to the back door, that back kitchen door. I try to wait for him to look away and down. And I try to rush in as fast as I can.
Did he appear initially to see you?
Oh, he saw me. He did what he was supposed to do. He was trying to protect his house and protect his family and his home. Because
Well, what did he do?
he got up real quick, and he grabbed me by my hoodie and grabbed my left hand at the same time. And I'm struggling with him, and I'm trying to get away from him. He's a pretty big guy.
Then what?
And I said to myself, I need to get him off me. I need to cut him. I just need to cut him.
Did you cut him?
I took one stab to get him to let go of me. He let go, and I just kind of blacked out and just tried to get him off me, and just kept cutting until he stopped, until he got off me.
You were in the armed services, correct?
Correct.
Did you know the most vulnerable places on a person's body or neck to cut them to achieve the quickest death, if that was your goal?
Been trained, I've been trained a little bit.
Right? Did you stab them in those places?
I know I stabbed him there, and just started cutting and stabbing wherever I could.
Now, is he standing or sitting or what at that time?
He's standing at that time.
Did he ever fall back into the chair?
I don't remember. I remember him backing away from me, and I was like, and I remember my hand was
You're
hurting.
leaning back now on.
I'm backing away from him, back after I did, because I'm trying to back up because I'm kind of in a daze.
Now, when are you aware, if ever, of where Mr. Austin is now?
I still don't know where he's at.
Well, tell me what happens next then.
Okay, so I remember walking back into the kitchen.
Well, how did you leave Mr. Sementilli? Where was he?
He was still on the patio.
In the chair?
I
Standing? Whatever.
wasn't looking. I just glad he was off
Why did you
me.
leave at that time? Did you know he was dead?
No, I wasn't sure if he was dead or not.
Why'd you leave?
Because I knew he was cut, though. I knew he was cut.
But your object was to kill him.
Yeah, but in panic, you don't think about all that. You're not looking at vitals, and you're not looking to see all that when it's all going down.
Did you ever see Mr. Austin stab him in the neck?
No, I don't remember that.
So when you're exiting the patio and getting back into the kitchen, where's Mr. Austin?
I don't notice him until I'm getting ready to walk and look around and see. I don't even notice. I'm kind of like in a daze because I'm actually hurt during that time frame. Also, I'm hurt.
Where are you hurt?
My hand was hurting because when he grabbed my hand, it hurt bad because he's a strong guy.
Okay.
So I'm looking. I'm saying to myself, "Damn, my hand is hurt."
So what do you do next?
Pull my glove off. And I see it bleeding again from what happened earlier in the day. It's hurting again.
Okay.
And the next thing I said to myself is, I need to make this thing look like a home invasion. That's the next thing that was the next priority on my list of getting this done, is to make it look like a home invasion. So in my mind is I need to start going through the house to make it look like it was a burglary.
Did you do that?
I started working on it right then and there, and that's when finally Chris came up to me. Oh shit, you know, he was in panic mode too. He was in panic then too. He was, what we gonna do, Unc? What we gonna do? And I'm like, I said we need to make this thing look like a home invasion. But he went somewhere else. I don't know what he did.
Did you tell him where to go? Let me back up. Did you have a plan as to how you were going to flee the residence after you killed them?
The plan was to walk back down if possible, or run back down like we jogged in and jogged out. That was the plan.
Okay, so tell me then what happened next.
So, went to make it look like a home invasion. So I started going through stuff.
Where was Mr. Austin then, as far as you knew?
I didn't care where he was at the moment.
Did you give him any directions as to where to go?
No, because he doesn't know where anything's at. He has no idea where anything's at. So I just told him I did tell him to wait, just to wait over by the kitchen. And as soon as I finished making this thing look like what it is, a home invasion, we'd leave.
So describe how you tried to make it look like a home invasion.
Just pull out drawers
Where?
in the bedroom. Look for anything that's valuable.
Did you find anything?
Anything, jewelry box. Like looking through stuff. Like I'm looking for something. Because I didn't expect to take anything because that wasn't my intention. But I had to make it look like that. So
Did
I took
you take anything?
clothes, jewelry, anything that looked like I might have brought something directly. I took, like if there was some clothes that belonged to me, I wanted that because I didn't want any residue from me being there. So if I had bought her some clothes, I try to take whatever I could that might be obvious, that might be linked to me, her jewelry box, anything that belonged, that was shiny, that looked valuable. So I was just grabbing stuff, throwing stuff everywhere.
Where were you putting it?
I grabbed a pillowcase and put it in a pillowcase.
Did you ever see a safe there?
I think so. Not that day though, but I think so.
Did you ever open the safe that day?
Never.
Did you ever open the safe on any occasion?
No.
But you knew there was a safe in the house?
I think so. I think so.
Okay. So how long are you doing this, putting stuff in the pillowcase?
Well, I'm still going through the house, looking for stuff.
Other rooms besides the bedroom?
No, just the bedroom was the intention, is to make it look like it was a botched home invasion.
Okay.
So I ran around, I looked around for everything else. I went back to the patio, and when I went to the patio, I saw the table, and I saw like a manila folder with some paper sticking out of it, and a piece of a gold coin. And I saw the coin, so I picked it up real quick because I was like, it looked weird. And I picked it up, it had more gold coins in it, so I just grabbed everything. I just grabbed everything that was there, whatever that was.
You say this was on the patio?
Right, it was in the patio.
How far away from Mr. Sementilli?
I don't know, maybe. It was where the table was.
Where what?
Where the table was. On the floor.
In the patio? Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah.
How far were the gold coins from where Mr. Sementilli was now positioned?
Well, I'm paying attention to the table and where the coins are, so I guess a few feet.
So this is in the patio outside where he was murdered?
Yes. Where he was sitting.
Okay, is he sitting now in the chair?
I don't remember.
Well, to your mind, was he dead?
I'm sure he was. I'm just, like I said, I don't know if he's dead or not. He could have been alive. I don't know.
Well, was he in any way defending himself
No,
at that time?
no. He was still, sure.
Okay.
He was still.
And where was Mr. Austin? Was he still waiting there, or had he gone somewhere else, or what?
He's probably in the kitchen area, or maybe, yeah, I think he's in the kitchen, and he's looking out the front door still, trying to keep a lookout.
All right,
He's in and out too, because I know he's terrified.
Then what happened?
I keep checking the house real quick because I know time is limited because I don't know exactly what time it is yet, and
Did you know when she was going to be home?
she said she was going to be home right after she picks up her daughter, so that was usually at 5 o'clock, something around there. So I wanted to get out of there quick before anybody comes in that house.
Okay.
So I got nervous. I'm paranoid. And I'm thinking that if I go out at that time, because it was real close to that time, that someone's going to see us or something. So I'm like, the best way to do this, I told Chris, in this search of the house, I find the Porsche keys. And I'm thinking, use the Porsche to get out of there before anybody gets home.
Where were the Porsche keys?
Where were they?
Yeah.
They were on the counter.
Okay.
They were on the counter in like in the kitchen area.
Okay.
And so that's when I made the decision to jump in, get in the Porsche and get out of there.
And did you tell that to Chris?
Yes, I did. I told him to go in the garage. We're getting ready to get out of here.
Okay. Did he?
No, he did. He's ready to leave.
And where did you go?
I did one last search of the house. I saw the towel that I used to drape my hand that was laying in the sink.
Sink where?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
I picked that up, grabbed that. Everything happened fast. Everything's happening in really, really fast pace.
So take your time and just tell us how best you remember what happened next.
Yeah, so there's no real order to all this because everything's happening so quick.
Well, he's in the car, correct?
He's waiting in the garage, yeah.
Okay, and you're in the kitchen doing something with a towel.
Getting a towel, put it in the pillowcase along with all the other stuff that I had. and made sure the house was kind of is the best as shambles that I could make it to make it look like a home invasion. Now I want to leave, get into the Porsche, throw everything in the back of the car, and try to get out of there.
Okay, did you get into the Porsche?
Yes.
How was it parked? Face in or backed in?
I think it was face in.
Okay.
I think.
So you get in the driver's seat,
I get in the driver's seat.
and Mr. Austin is where?
He's in the passenger seat.
Okay.
And I start the car. I'm trying to get out as fast as I can because I think anybody can be home at any moment.
See anything that looked like a home security system or anything like that?
Yes, I knew it existed.
Where did you see it?
Well, there were cameras in the house, so I knew the cameras were there.
Did you do anything with it?
That was one of the things I grabbed. I grabbed the system before I left.
Where was that?
It was, I think it was in the garage.
Okay. And what, wires and boxes? Or
And just a box.
what'd you do with it?
I threw it in with the pillowcase.
In the Porsche.
Yes.
So now you drive out of the garage?
Drive out of the garage.
You have to back out, right?
Back out real quick. Try to get out of there real quick,
Where do you go?
go back the same way we came.
Okay.
Now, the difference is I want to go back a way where I have no idea where there's cameras or no cameras because I didn't look that far ahead. So I just picked a route. And
Can you remember as you sit here right now what that route was?
back down that road, the main drag, and there's a quick right where there's a back way to get back to Ventura. And I just know if I make a right and make a left, I'm going to hit Ventura.
Do you know the name of the streets?
No.
Okay. Do you get back to Ventura?
Get back to Ventura.
Then what?
I hear sirens. So I'm kind of got a good idea what's going on. So I want to get rid of this car as fast as possible.
Did you pass any of her daughters on the way out of the house?
That I don't remember. I'm told I did later on, but
I'm going to object, move to strike.
Stricken.
So can you tell us where you end up with the Porsche and Mr. Austin?
some back street behind Ventura Boulevard. Where, I don't know. It was like a building, like a little small business building. It was a cubby hole, and I parked the car near.
You hear any sirens yet at that time?
I've been heard the sirens already.
So what do you do there?
I take out the pillowcase, take that. I leave the, I take the pillowcase, and I tell him, you need to get out of here. We need to get you out of here as fast as possible. And I said, just go back to the apartment. And I needed him to be on foot. I didn't want him to be in a car with me, just in case I get caught or get stopped or something. Because I'm paranoid.
Did you do anything with your clothes?
Not yet.
Okay, what about his clothes?
He still has his on him.
Okay.
Because all the clothes is in the car still. So there's no change in clothes yet.
What clothes are in the car?
Well, I had a change of clothes. He didn't have a change of clothes. I had a change of clothes. Because I had a change to go to work.
Okay.
To try to seal this thing up.
So you're parked somewhere, and then what happens?
So I leave the car. He takes off. And
On foot?
yeah, we actually both take off, now that I remember that. We both go together, and we go to the rental. We go to the car.
What car?
The silver car that was rented. Because I use that
Okay.
instead
So
of using my own car, because my cars are pretty visible.
So you go to the silver car that had been rented that had taken you to the area to begin with,
Yes,
all right? With Mr. Austin, right?
correct.
And then what happens?
He goes and picks up his wallet. He gets whatever he brought with him. I think he carried a little bag with him. So I had money with me because I was going to give him money that I had, that I was going to give him anyway. But I was going to give him before his trip back, even regardless whatever happened. I was going to give him money, so I gave him cash. I went through the jury box and all that other stuff, and
What about the gold coins?
I object to the leading.
That's all right.
so the gold coins didn't come till later because I was still in panic mode. So,
Okay.
So
So take us back now to you're at the car and you've given him some money.
yeah,
What about his clothes?
he, like I said, he had his clothes on that he had on with him. So, and I told him just to hurry up and get out here and go back to the house, go back to the apartment.
Your house?
Yes. And if he has anything there, just meet me there. Just
How
either
was he supposed to get there?
jog. I wanted him to jog. I didn't want him to be caught with me.
All right.
That's it.
Meanwhile, you've got the Porsche there and the Versa?
No, the Porsche is someplace else now. I don't walked away from the Porsche. The Porsche is a good distance off. I left it because it was easy to recognize.
So how did you get from the Porsche to the Versa? Did you walk or jog?
We walked and jogged.
Now you tell Mr. Austin to go back to the apartment, correct?
Yes. So he takes off.
And then what do?
Me, I'm trying to get myself together because I'm still a wreck. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. So eventually, I'm listening for the sirens still to see if I'm paranoid right now. So I'm listening for the sirens. I'm looking around trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I need to hurry up and get to the apartment. I also know that I don't want him being seen with me because they may be looking for two people.
Okay, so what happens next?
So I drive, and I try to get back to the main road. And as I'm driving, I
What are
see
you driving?
the same silver car.
Okay.
So I go down this main drag to get back. I think it was Winnetka, but I'm not sure what it was.
Winnetka?
Yeah, I think it was Winnetka.
Okay.
I can't be sure anymore. But I see Chris jogging. He's a good distance already. And I look around to make sure there's nothing going on. I pull over real quick and I say, jump in, because it looks like everything's decent for now. There's no police running around. And there's nothing going on. So I tell him to jump in the car.
Okay.
And then I head to a parking lot somewhere off of, I think it was the bowling alley, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
You're Corbin?
Yes, I think that was the one. No, not the one over there by damn. I can't even remember the roads anymore. It's been so long.
Okay, but there's a bowling alley?
There's a bowling alley, so we go to the parking lot, and I tell him I need to go to work. So I said I'm going to leave you the car. I told him I'm going to leave you the car, and
Did you do that?
I did wind up doing that because I needed to get to work, but I didn't want the car to show up there.
What happened to the knife you had?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Before I got into the car, before we got in the car, I actually took the knife and buried it.
Where?
Some hole that was somewhere. There's like a hole already pre-made somewhere. Somebody was some kind of construction or something. Or somebody was building something like putting in fence posts or something. I don't know.
You bury it?
I put it in there. Yeah, I just put it in there, covered it up.
Council, let's take our morning recess for 15 minutes. The admonition applies, ladies and gentlemen. Is present, all counsel are present, jury and also present. Mr. Baker, you're still under oath. You may continue.
Thank you. Mr. Baker, I think we left off with you and Mr. Austin somewhere in the area. You see him, is that correct? You run into him?
Run into him, and we go, and I wind up going to the bowling alley.
Okay. Did you ever see the Porsche again?
I saw the Porsche later that night.
Okay. Before then what do you do after you're at the bowling alley?
Get rid of the clothes. Get rid of the clothes I was wearing.
What about Mr. Austin's clothes?
He might have put one or two items in the bag that I wanted to get rid of, but I'm not sure.
Did you have a change of clothes with you?
Yeah, I did.
And where did you put the clothes that you wore during the murder?
Threw it in the trash.
Did you have them in a bag or?
Yeah, put them all in the bag.
The what?
Put them all in the bag and just threw them out.
The pillow bag you had?
No, just a separate bag. It was a separate bag.
What'd
The
you
pillow
do with-
bag I got rid of someplace else.
And where did you get rid of that?
I got rid of that where in the neighborhood before I pulled off. Because
In what, a trash bin?
yeah, it was trash bins.
So then you get rid of your clothes in what, a trash bin again?
Yes, a separate one.
Do you have any idea what location that's at?
The trash bin for the clothes was near the bowling alley.
Okay. So, what do you and Mr. Austin do next?
I tell him, because it's kind of close to where I stayed at, I tell him to make sure he's back at that bowling alley. I think it was, I don't know, 7:30. I can't remember the time. It was like, I just needed to show up for work and clock in.
You're talking about going to
The
LA Fitness?
Yes.
To clock in is what, an alibi?
Right. Because I'm usually there all the time anyway, so I really don't need to clock in per se, because I'm always there, so people would always assume I was there anyway. That was my thinking for that moment. So I tell him just to meet me at that whatever time that was. I go to the house.
Well, who had the car?
He had the silver car.
And how were you going to get to
I'm
work?
going to take my car, my truck, and go to work.
Where was your truck?
It was in the apartment complex.
So it was still working?
No, we got it working because it just needed a new battery. That's all it needed.
All right.
So it was fine because it was giving me
All right,
problems.
so do you lose sight of Mr. Austin at that point?
I did.
And the last you saw him, he was doing what?
It was sitting in the car in the driver's seat.
The Versa? Mm-hmm. All right, does he drive away?
I don't remember. I just jog because I'm just jog. I'm getting ready to go to my complex.
Okay.
And get my gear.
Okay, and then what happens?
So I go get my gear, go to the job, check in, and when I go check in, I clock in, and that's when I hear a lot of people talking about that they just found out that this thing just happened.
Do you have any idea what time of day or night this is?
It's 6:30ish, 7.
Okay. And what do you do next?
I want to get out of there. I want to get out of there as fast as possible. I just wanted to show up in
So how long would you say you're there?
30, 40 minutes.
And then where do you go?
I go back to the apartment complex, and no. I go to the bowling alley, and I meet up with Austin. So
You supposed to meet there?
yeah, because I told him to meet me at a specific time, so I didn't even take the truck back to the apartment. I went straight to the bowling alley and parked the truck there, and met with Austin. And I want to get him on the way. I want to get him out of there.
All right. Do you remember anything about a ticket?
He told me about the ticket. Yeah, he told me he got some kind of stupid ass seatbelt ticket while he was out. Unbelievable. But yeah, he told me about the ticket, and I told him before, you need to get this taken care of ASAP. Use a money order.
Why were you so concerned?
So that way it wouldn't. Hopefully it would get. I don't know how the system works. Hopefully it would get out the system as soon as it was paid off, and it wouldn't cause notice. That was the thought. I wanted to get
You
rid of
didn't know it would take 3 or 4 years for them to find the ticket.
Yeah, I didn't know, but I knew it would take a while.
So what happens next?
I take him to the nearest bus station. I give him money.
You don't take him back to LAX.
No, I take him to a bus station
You know where the bus station was?
somewhere in Van Nuys. It was like by the flyaway, near the flyaway.
Is it one of those flyaway buses that go to the airport?
It wasn't. I didn't take him exactly into that flyaway because I know there's cameras. So I took him away from there
Was
to
he
a bus
supposed
station.
to go there?
Yeah, I told him to get the flyaway or grab a cab. He had the money for it.
So the last time you see him that day is where?
At the bus station I drop him off at.
Okay. And so he goes to LAX by himself.
Yes.
Now, when was he scheduled to return to Alaska? If you know.
I believe it was either that morning or that next morning or the next day or something like that.
And do you know when he, in fact, did fly back to Alaska?
No.
Where do you go next?
I'm going to try to go back to the house or back to the apartment, and I'm going to try to get rid of everything that belongs to her that's in that house.
Anything that belongs to Monica?
Yes,
Do you do that?
I do.
You ever see the Porsche again?
I do.
When?
After I get rid of everything in the house that I feel that the house is clean.
What types of things are we talking
Just
about?
clothes. Just clothes and stuff like that.
That she kept at your house?
Yeah, just clothes. Just a couple pieces of clothes and stuff like that. Anything that I think might track her to me, because I feel that, they're going to definitely look into her really hard. So I want to get rid of anything that shows we had a relationship.
Is it your belief they know that you are having a relationship, or anyone knows? Or
The only one who knows is just Ricky and Sheila. That's it, really.
Okay.
Everybody else, no.
But you don't know who Sheila's talked to or anything?
No, I don't know anything like that yet. I have no idea.
You've been out socially with Monica for several months, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, you mentioned something about the Porsche.
So
What do you do about the Porsche?
So after I finally figure out the apartment thing, and I figure it's safe enough to, I'm actually paranoid and don't want to go outside, but I do.
Where do you put the clothes or the things that you take out of your apartment that belong to Monica?
For the moment, I put it in the in my truck. No, not yet. Not the truck. Not yet. Not yet. That was later. I just put it. Yeah, I put it in the silver car. I remember now. I put it in the silver car.
And does it stay there, or do you eventually get rid of it?
I don't know. I take the silver car. I go to the truck. Put everything in the truck, and at this point, I'm actually thinking about leaving town. I'm thinking about going to. I want to go to Vegas. I want to get out of there.
Okay, but I assume when you say that you don't go to Vegas. Then.
I don't.
What do you do?
I'm thinking about the Porsche
Why?
because it's in an area where I left it where there's cameras, and I know if I leave it there, and chances are someone's going to find it, that there's an abandoned black camera, an abandoned black Porsche sitting there, and call it in, and they're going to start canvassing, and then they're going to start seeing footage. So I need to go back and move that Porsche. So
Do you do that?
I go to the Porsche.
How do you get there?
I drive this silver car
Okay.
to the Porsche.
Then what?
Actually, I don't go exactly yet to the Porsche. I go to a store and pick up cleaning supplies to try to clean it out to make sure it's clean.
Trying to clean the Porsche?
No, that too. But I clean. I go get the cleaning supplies, park the silver car, and I walk to the Porsche. And I go to a strip mall and pick up cleaning gear at some kind of strip mall. I forget the name of it. So I have to walk. I want to walk to the Porsche.
Do you do that?
Yeah, for about a quarter mile. Because I don't want to be. I want to approach the Porsche carefully, just in case they already found it or something. So
All right. Did you get to the Porsche?
I did get to the
Did it
Porsche.
appear to be in the same place you left it?
Same place.
All right.
So-
Then what'd you do?
I try my best to clean it out the best I can, and
When you say clean it out best you can, what are you talking about?
just using towels, napkins, Clorox, everything possible. I bought all that stuff and just try to clean it out. Wipe the prints down, all that stuff best I can. So I'm still paranoid because the black Porsche is easy to find, and I know they're looking for it.
Okay.
They're looking for it.
Then what?
So I remember hearing that the car had some kind of device on it or something. I don't know. That sends emails or something like that. So I really don't want to drive the car. So I
You
want
mean that would help find it?
Yes. So it's got me kind of paranoid. But I want to get that car out of there. So I basically get in the car, drive it to the spot that they found it.
Where was that?
Over there, and where I just found an area that looked like it had no cameras. It kind of looked like it had no cameras. I didn't even know the area. I just drove
Like an
around.
Abandoned area, like?
It was a residential area, but it still had homes in it, but it was not like congested.
Was it on the street or someplace else?
It was on the street. It was on the street, but it was like not where a whole bunch of houses were.
Okay. You
And
thought it was safe there for at least a while.
And I'm also thinking that they're tracking the car, so I need to get out of that car as fast as possible too.
And do you get out of there?
Yeah, I drop it off, and I
What do you do with the keys?
I go to the bus station. I go back to Ventura, answer your question, and then I get on the bus.
I'm going to object. Non-responsive.
It is.
Move to strike.
Stricken.
Okay.
All right. Question answered in a can.
Again, no question pending, Your Honor. Move to strike.
There's no question pending. Stricken.
What did you do with the keys?
I put it in a can,
Where?
in the trash can, in a can,
Near where you had left it or somewhere else?
somewhere else,
And then where do you go?
down Ventura Boulevard,
Where do you end up?
back towards the car.
The Versa?
Yes.
And what do you do then, Mr. Baker?
Get in the Versa, and I go to I just drive around for a while to keep a look on it, to look around and see if there's
Are you
Police.
seeing or hearing any law enforcement or fire engines or anything of that nature responding to the murder?
not anymore.
You're out of the area?
I'm still around,
Where do you go?
all over the valley
Just driving?
for now.
What, thinking of what happened?
Just watching, just keeping an eye on things.
Do you ever learn if Mr. Austin, in fact, flew out of LAX?
Well, I'm going to object to the call for
Well, I'll
this
rephrase it.
speculation.
Very well.
I'll rephrase it. When do you hear next from Mr. Austin?
I think it was the next day.
Okay. Do you know if he flew back on the flight he was scheduled to fly back on or changed his ticket?
Same objection.
Sustained.
Mr. I'm sorry.
I was just telling the witness there was no question pending.
Okay, so we left you in what car are you driving now? The Versa?
The Versa.
Where do you go? That night.
Like I said, all over the valley.
Where do you end up?
I eventually end up dropping the car off at Enterprise.
That's where it had been rented from?
Yes.
By Paula?
Yes.
And how do you get from the Enterprise to your residence?
I go from Enterprise to my truck. They drop me off.
Who dropped you off?
The Enterprise people.
Okay, so they drop you, take you back where you want to go when you turn in their car.
Yes.
Okay, that's why you use Enterprise.
Yeah.
Where do you go in your car?
Object, Susan.
I'm sorry?
Susan's facts, not evidence.
Overruled.
What was the question again?
I assume you get in your car.
Okay.
Where do you go? It's a long time ago, I understand.
It is.
Objection to counsel testifying.
I want to ignore that.
I wind up eventually in Vegas.
Do you go straight to Vegas or stop anywhere else?
No, let me back up. I didn't go to Vegas. I didn't. I still stuck around because I still had to work. I still had to work. I didn't go yet.
So you go home?
Yeah, I don't go home. I'm kind of like in and out. I'm not going home yet because I'm still paranoid. So no, I'm not going home yet.
Okay.
And
Where do you end up?
I wind up staying in the car all day, paranoid. So until that night where I had to work again at the LA Fitness.
So you go back to LA.
Work, show up, go to work.
You'd already been there once to establish the alibi.
That was the day before. This is the next day we're talking about.
Okay, so now we're on the next day. Tuesday?
Right. Yes.
Okay. You go to LA Fitness that day?
That Tuesday.
Normal day for you to work there?
Yes,
Do you work there?
I do.
When's the next time you see Monica?
A long time. I don't see her for a while.
Well, you learned that, obviously, and you knew that Fabio had been murdered, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever go to her house during any grieving period they were in?
Yes.
And can you tell us and tell the jury approximately how many days that was after the murder, if you remember?
A couple of days, maybe a week. I don't remember offhand.
Did you go with anybody?
I went with a group
A group from where?
from the racquetball league.
Okay, do you remember any of their names?
I believe it was Ricky, Sheila, Paula, Matt. I think that was it.
Okay. And why did you go with them to her house?
I'm going to object that it seems facts and not evidence.
a rule.
Say you went there.
So why did I go is because they asked me to go because they said they knew that me and her were that she talks to me a lot, and
And why were they going, if you know?
because they wanted to go and pay their respects. But
Okay.
I didn't really want to go. I didn't want to go at all.
Well, but you went.
I did.
And do you remember how you all got there, or at least how you got there?
I didn't want to drive my car up there. I didn't want to have nothing to be seen up there, so I went with Matt.
Matt Nurse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt was driving. I asked, can I ride with him?
And when you got to the house, were there a lot of people there?
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
Did it look like a gathering there to like a wake kind of thing?
It was something like that, yeah.
Okay. They had food there?
I don't even remember that.
About how many people did you see there?
30, 40, I'm
Did-
assuming.
Other than the co-workers you were with, did you recognize anybody else there besides Monica?
I did not.
Did you see Monica there?
I did.
And did you go over to her and talk to her?
I tried to.
Well, tell me what you did.
First I looked, and I saw her, and I saw she was a total wreck.
Okay?
So it kind of, it messed me up really bad when I saw that. I never saw something like that
Had you
before.
ever apologized to her in any way, or said you were sorry, or sent any message to her?
Not that I remember. Not that I remember. I don't remember.
You recall sending her a text message?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Not during that time, no. I don't remember.
You could have, but you don't remember.
Yeah.
But you saw her in person at the house.
Yes.
And what did you do with her, if anything?
I wanted to talk to her. You know, 'cause,
What did you do?
I eventually approached her when I could because she was surrounded by a lot of people. And I wanted to find out why. I mean, I know why she was messed up like that. But I wanted to find out what the hell was going on with her. Like, you know, like is she losing it because of me doing this thing? You know, and that's what it was. I was just trying to see
If you were responsible.
yeah,
But as far as you know, she didn't know that you did it.
no,
You didn't tell her, did you?
no.
How long did you stay there at the house?
I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Not even that long, I don't think.
And did you leave with the other people, or did you leave
Yes.
by yourself?
I had to leave with Matt because I rode with him.
All right. Did you have any interaction with any of her family talking to you or looking at you in a funny way or anything like that?
Only thing I remember was her mother.
And what do you remember about her mother?
Her mother just asking me who I was, and you know, and all, just being a mother. You know,
Okay. Did you answer her?
I told her. I said I'm just a friend, just concerned. You know, what can I tell her? I'm nothing I can tell her.
So you leave
Eventually, yeah, within,
with the same friends who took you there?
yes,
And where did they take you when you left?
back to LA Fitness, get my car.
And did you get your car?
I did.
Okay. And where did you go?
I think I probably eventually was going to Vegas. I had to get somebody to take my place at LA Fitness to look after my league because I wanted to get out of LA.
Did you get out of L.A.?
I did eventually.
When you say eventually, tell me approximately how many days or weeks after the murder.
A week, about 5 days, something like that. Just enough so I can cover somebody covering my league.
Okay. And what about Mr. Austin? When do you next hear from him, if you do?
I think I heard from him the next day. He said he got in.
Pardon?
That he got in.
Safely.
Yes.
Okay. So when you go to Vegas, do you drive there?
I drive
You go by yourself?
by myself.
You run into anybody there in Las Vegas that you know?
No, I stayed with Birdsong.
Did you tell him about what you had done?
No,
Did he appear to know that the murder or the death of Mr. Sementilli had occurred?
no,
You hadn't told him that you were seeing her on the side?
no. He knew that part.
Okay.
He knew that part. I didn't tell him anything about a death or anything.
Mr. Baker, was Mr. Birdsong a part of the conspiracy to kill Fabio Sementilli?
No,
Did you ever talk to him about your plan to kill him before the murder occurred?
I never talked to Mr. Birdsong about a plan to kill Fabio.
You never had three-way conversations with him and Mr. Austin about how you were going to kill Mr. Sementilli?
No,
At some point, do you become aware, or does Mr. Birdsong make you aware that he knows that Mr. Sementilli had been murdered?
eventually I tell him that he died in a home invasion,
Okay.
but I don't tell him I did it.
You ever tell him you did it?
No,
How long are you in Las Vegas then after the murder?
my mind is reeling. Say that one more time.
How long do you stay in Las Vegas
Oh.
after the murder?
I think maybe a week.
And do you have any contact with Monica?
During that time, no.
When's the next time after the murder that you have any contact with Monica? If you can recall.
Weeks and weeks. Weeks.
How did that occur?
I don't even remember how many weeks it was, but it was quite a bit of time. I hit her with a text and basically asked, "Are you okay?"
And did she respond to you?
And she goes, basically, sort of, you like, I'm okay. That's it. Kind of. It was like a really quick answer, like, I'm okay.
Now, you begin seeing her again, don't you?
Eventually,
Okay. You remember the first time that you saw her again after the murder?
yes, I do. I remember.
And where was that, if you can tell us? I remember.
I met her in Glendale.
Restaurant someplace?
It was like a bar. It was like a bar. Because I asked her, "You want to have a drink? You want to talk about it?"
And when you say want to talk about, you mean the death of her husband?
Yeah, about her.
Did she appear to be upset about that still?
Oh, she was upset. She was upset.
Did you ever, in any way, tell her that you had killed her husband?
No.
You are eventually arrested with her on June 14th, 2017, correct?
Take your word for it.
Okay. During those 4 months after you first saw her after the murder, do you continue to see her as you had before the murder?
Yes.
And at any time during that period, do you tell her in any way that you are responsible for the death of her husband?
No, I don't.
You do travel with her, don't you?
I did travel with her.
Do you remember where you went?
Just Vegas and just around LA
You ever go to Myrtle
I did.
Beach?
and Myrtle Beach.
How did that happen? Do you remember?
I told her I always wanted to go to Myrtle Beach. I wanted to see if she could take a trip just to get away,
Okay.
and she wanted to go with me.
Did she?
She did.
Was this, did you attempt to keep this a secret from the other people?
Yeah, not a secret. There's no reason to tell them, but I didn't tell anybody.
Did you tell anybody that you were going away with her?
I think I don't remember. I might have. I can't remember who.
Well, let me ask you two different questions. Number one, did you tell anybody at work? Did you have to get time off to go on vacation? How does that work?
No, by that time I had quit. I had quit already.
So when did you quit? How long after the murder?
Probably a month.
And why did you quit?
Mainly so if I could take off. I cared about the league, stupid as that might sound, so I didn't want to just abandon it. It sounded retarded, but I didn't want to abandon it, so I wanted to give it to somebody who could handle it.
You remember who took over for you?
Yes, I do.
Who?
Sean McCullum.
Okay. So you go to Myrtle Beach. Who paid for it?
Well, I paid for most of it. She paid for her own flight, so I paid for everything else.
Okay. How long you in Myrtle Beach?
A couple of days, 4 days, maybe 3 days, 2 days, something like that.
You
I don't remember that. A couple of days, like a weekend.
You just there alone, or did you go with anybody?
No, just me and her.
Okay. Then you come back from Myrtle Beach, correct?
Correct.
And are you able to recall or recount the other things you did with her, whether on vacation or in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles?
No, we got I think the arrest came right after that.
After Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, pretty much. I do remember that much.
Okay, so during those 3 months, are you still seeing her?
Beforehand, before Myrtle Beach?
Before and after?
Yeah. Still seeing her.
Same manner as you did before?
Yes. Well, it took a little bit to get back to where it was because she was still pretty shaken up. So it wasn't quite that easy.
Did you ever run into her family at all in Los Angeles who's staying with her? Or?
Oh, yeah. But I can't remember if it was before or after this happened. I can't remember. I did meet them. I just don't remember. I just don't remember when.
Are you still keeping this a secret?
From her family, yeah.
From everyone?
Yes, from everyone.
Before your arrest, Mr. Baker, did you share with anyone that you had planned and carried out the murder of Monica Sementilli's husband, Fabio?
Just with Austin, that's it.
Do you keep in touch with Mr. Austin in the period before your arrest?
I did.
How did you do that?
I always keep extra phones, like I testified earlier. So I told him to get an extra phone so I could keep in touch with him, just to make sure he was still kind of stable, because he was pretty shooken up over this too. So I didn't want him to go.
Did you ever find out whether or not Mr. Austin had in fact participated, that is, stabbed Fabio Sementilli as you had?
You know, I never asked, but it makes sense now.
What makes sense?
That the way he acted afterwards, he was really in a bad way. I never understood why, because I just really didn't understand why. I thought it was just because of him being there, but I guess he did stab. I don't know if he did or not. I don't know. I don't remember.
You've learned since then, through the litigation and so forth, that he did stab.
Right.
Did he ever tell you that?
No.
Admit to that?
Never told me. We never talked about it like that. We never talked about it. We didn't want to talk on the phone like that.
After well, you and Monica are arrested, as I said, on June 14th, 2017. Is that correct?
Take your word for it.
Okay. And you're arrested in the same car, is that right?
Yes.
And then you end up in county jail in various locations, is that right?
Yes.
Do you ever write a letter to Monica?
Yes.
Well, before we get there, I'm running ahead. Can you tell the jury when it was that you decided to enter a plea of no contest, meaning guilty in this case?
I don't know when, but I know why.
So we discussed sometime in July 2023.
Yeah, right.
That sound right?
Correct.
Can you tell us why you decided to do that?
There's a couple of reasons why. One of them was my lack of ability to get information.
What do you mean by that?
I could not get information on the case itself. It was difficult.
Well, you had an attorney.
I did have an attorney.
Are you saying he was not informing you of the facts of the case as you would have preferred?
Yes.
How many times, well, you were in prison or in jail, in custody, from June 2017, and then you entered your plea in July 2023, so that's 6 years,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So for a variety of reasons, COVID intervened. This case was going on for those 6 years, at least,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
How many times do you recall your attorney coming to visit you at the jail?
Maybe 3 times.
In 6 years?
I'm guessing about 3 times.
Was he your only source of legal advice, legal information at that time?
For the case, yes.
So he was the one attorney that was assigned to you.
I had other attorneys, but he was my primary one for this part.
I'm talking about the murder case, not attorneys you've used in the past for other things.
Correct.
So what did you do to try to get more information about the facts of the case and the evidence against you and so forth if you weren't getting it from your attorney?
I was getting it from people who were coming to visit me, the newspaper, because it was all over the nursepaper, it was all over TV. I don't know where they were getting the information from, but I figured I could get something out of that. From Monica herself, if I could, she was one of my sources.
Now, is it clear to you now, or I'll start off back then. Was it clear to you back then that when you were communicating with Monica in jail that it was being tape recorded?
I did, or it was a potential for it. It was a potential for it.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know if it was going to be recorded or not, but I always knew there was a possibility it could be.
Had you encountered that when you were in prison the last time?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. You were aware that happened?
Yes.
Okay. But nevertheless, you had conversations with her, hours and hours of conversations. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
And how did you get information from her about the case?
I knew she was scared. I could hear it in her voice, so.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second.
Okay.
Did you ever tell her during any of those years when you were in contact with her in the jail that you had in fact killed her husband?
Never.
What did you say about the murder?
What did I say about the murder?
Yeah. Did you say you did it, or someone
No.
else did it, or what?
No, we never discussed it. We never discussed it because I mean, she would kind of let me know things along the way because I would pretend, I would act like I'm concerned, which I am concerned because I do want to know. But I would just want to know, she would just let me know how things would progress. This was beforehand. So how things would progress if something was going on, because I wanted to know for myself. Because if there was anything going on, I needed to get out of town, I would go. So I would just pay attention to what she was talking about.
This is before the arrest.
Yeah, and during, I would never bring it up.
Well, in jail it was brought up, obviously, right?
Whether me doing it or not, no.
Well, you said you learned about the facts and the evidence against you from Monica in part.
Okay, yeah, bits and pieces.
And different people.
And different people.
How did you learn about it from Monica? What kind of things would you say to her?
I would just listen. I would listen. I can't even remember discussion. I was more of a listener than anything.
Would she tell you facts about the case she was learning from her attorneys?
Bits and pieces, yeah. Bits and pieces.
Did she ever tell you that she knew you had killed her husband?
At one point, I kind of figured she figured it out.
When was that?
The day she called me a fucking murderer.
Okay. And can you give me a time period after the arrest that occurred?
A year and a half, maybe, into it.
Before then, did you maintain your innocence to her?
I did.
Why?
I didn't want her to know.
What do you think would happen if she knew?
Fucking murderer. I knew she was going to do that.
Now, after she said that to you, did she engage in any further communications with you?
No.
Before she said that, you're aware that there were hours and hours of communications that were recorded.
I do.
During those communications, what were you telling her about the murder?
I don't remember. I really don't remember. It wasn't really I don't remember. I really don't. Because we had, like you said, it was hours of conversation, so I don't remember. I talked to her about everything. Everything. Jail.
About the evidence?
I try not to make it a point of talking about it. I don't remember even talking about that, bringing it up. I don't remember. I might have. I don't know.
Did you tell her that you would even lie and plead guilty to get her out?
I said that because I felt she felt lost, and I didn't want her to believe that I would. I knew the truth. Only I did. So I wanted to tell her that to make her feel that I would do that.
That you would lie and admit something you didn't do. You ended up admitting something you did.
I did.
Now, without getting too explicit, did you tell her to engage in some kind of sexual conduct while she was in the jail?
To kill somebody?
No, sexual.
Oh, I thought we were talking about killing somebody. I don't know. I might have. I don't know.
No, you tell her to touch herself or to masturbate or do things of that nature?
To kill somebody?
No, not to kill somebody. We're talking about sexual.
Oh, we're talking about that again. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. We might have. It's jailing. It's jailing. If you've been in jail, you jail. That's how you jail.
Well, I don't
Past time.
I don't
No,
know
you've
what
never
that
been in
means.
jail. I know.
That's how you jail.
I'm going to object to counsel's testimony. It's not a question.
I'm sorry, that was not improper. Ask the next person.
We have 1 minute, Your Honor. You get me so excited, pull your pants down?
I might have. I don't remember all because we had a lot of conversations. I might have.
When she said she was worried about camera scene, did you say it doesn't matter, I don't give a fuck?
I probably did.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you tell her to pull her pants down?
Jailing, man. Jailing is like golfing and bowling. You got bowl. You jail. That's how you jail when you do time.
Did you ever tell her you were her maestro?
It's a nickname. She used to call me that, goofing around before all this.
Did you ever tell her or instruct her to perform sexual acts with other men on the bus for your benefit?
I might have. Maybe. I might have.
Did you ever say you need to be a whore out there for me while you can, then tell me about it?
Could have been. Maybe.
Why'd you do that?
It's jailing.
You know about the incident involving the sperm and the toothpaste?
Oh, I heard about the killer toothpaste, yeah. I heard about it.
What do you know about that?
I'm trying to remember how that came about.
Did
I'm
you
just trying to
send
figure
her-
out. I'm just trying to figure out why it's a big deal. I'm gonna try to answer your question. I really am.
Object non-responsive, move to strike.
I'm gonna allow that to remain.
All right. I'll withdraw.
I think I got a kite that said, "Can you send me something of you?"
And when you say you got a kite, what do you mean by
I
a
mean,
kite?
that means you get something from somebody in jail. It's part of jailing, and you get it from somewhere somehow, and you know who it comes from. And she's, can you send me something of you? So I'm like, all right.
Well, how did you learn all these things? You say you know this. So, because you had been in jail before?
Because I've been in jail so long. This time, I've been here a long time.
You knew Monica hadn't been in jail before.
No, I know that.
So were you teaching her this?
I'm not teaching her anything.
Well, did you teach her how to make three-way calls?
No. How could I do that?
Did you make three-way calls?
I did,
And what was the purpose of three-way calls?
to communicate with her.
Pardon?
To communicate with her.
With her?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
I would call a number. She would call a number and merge the call.
And how did she know what number to call?
I gave her a number.
How would you give her the number?
She would call somebody, gave her the number, said to call that number. She would call the number. I would call the number.
So you taught her how to communicate with you in the jail.
If that's, I guess so. If that's teaching her, maybe she knew how to do it already. I don't know.
Okay? But she followed your instructions, right?
For that time. No. You explained. You told me to explain it. I explained it. She may have already known this already.
Okay. But you ended up having a lot of three-way calls, didn't you?
I believe so. Yeah, we did.
And you exchanged a lot of kites, is that right?
I don't know, a few. I don't know about a lot, but a few.
And you knew your cells were being searched? Did you know that?
I did know that eventually.
Or did you know it while you were in there?
Yes, I did.
And you did it anyway, right? You Exchange-
Yeah, the answer is yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
did you have codes with her, like secret codes that you would write, secret messages in code?
We developed a way to do it.
Who developed the way to do it?
I came up with it.
You did?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Jailing. You just sit in jail and you got plenty of time to think of stuff. So I come up with a possible way to be able to talk in peace.
Can you explain how you did the code and how you taught it to her?
I need to see the code again to remember. It might take me a while to figure it out because it's been a long, long time.
Well, rather than do that, it would take me a while to find it. Do you use like letters and numbers?
Yeah, letters and
To
numbers.
mean other letters or numbers?
Yeah.
And somehow, how do you give the code, how to break it to the other person?
You have to have a code word.
And did you do that?
That's what we did.
Mr. Baker, there reached a time we discussed earlier when you decided to enter a plea of guilty in this case. Is that right?
Correct.
You said you could have gotten a deal previously, but you never took it?
It was during that same time.
Did you ever take a deal?
Never.
Did you believe you could have had a deal if you wanted to, if you would have testified against Monica?
Yes.
Who told you that?
My attorney.
Or named the second person?
That was part of that deal. That was what he alluded to.
And you did neither. Is that correct?
I did nothing. Yeah.
Why were you protecting? I understand why you didn't want to take a deal against Monica. You didn't think she had anything to do with it.
Correct.
Why did you want to protect Mr. Austin?
Because I felt they had nothing.
No evidence.
That's the way I felt at the time. So I didn't want to say nothing about anything regarding him.
Even if it meant less time for you.
Exactly.
So, tell us how you decided to enter a plea in this case, how you did that.
Well, like I said, I had four reasons to go ahead and plead no contest. One was the lack of information. The other reason was what I felt was lack of due process. I felt like it wasn't going my way at all. And the third one was the proffer deal, when I knew that there was no other way out except just go ahead and plead no contest.
Well, you didn't get a proffer deal.
No, they said I didn't. But in that tank, I was told this. When I was in that tank, that's what that lawyer told me. He said, I told them the story, and it was, and he looked at me and said, and I looked at him and I said, they want her and they want a guy, huh? And he goes, I said, can't do it. I would be lying.
So what? You could have gone to trial.
I could have gone to trial.
Why didn't you?
I knew I wasn't going to get I knew it wasn't going to work. The due process thing was a problem.
You knew you were guilty,
I knew I was guilty too.
and you knew your DNA was found.
And
Correct.
that's it.
So when you decided to enter a plea, how did you go about doing that?
I just told him, just go ahead and tell him I'm going to plead out.
You told your lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and he told the judge.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So at that point, again, you were not getting any benefit for your entry of the guilty plea, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Did you know at the time that you decided to do that you would be sentenced to life without parole, the most serious sentence you can get in this state other than the death penalty?
I knew I was going to get life, period. I didn't know I was going to get all the extra stuff, but yeah.
When did you find that out?
The day he read the sentence off.
So you thought you were going to be able to get out of jail?
No. I didn't think that at all.
You thought you were pleading to the rest of your life in jail?
For sure. Yeah, I did.
And you did that?
I did.
And you got sentenced to life without parole, isn't that right?
Yes.
Now, after that, do you recall myself and my investigator, Mr. Dawson, coming to see you at the county jail?
I did.
And did we ask you whether or not Monica had anything to do with the murder?
Yeah, I remember the question.
Remember what you told us?
I said she has nothing to do with this.
Remember us asking you if you would be willing to testify truthfully in court
I said I would.
with no deal?
Yep.
You
I said
agreed to
that.
do that?
I did.
Okay. And that's why you're here today and yesterday, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir, I am.
In the meantime, did you ever write a letter to Monica that we had given to her at your request? Remember that?
I do. I do remember.
Did you write that after or before you entered your plea?
It was after.
And, well, Your Honor, I have marked as defense exhibit next, 628, a 7-page letter.
Very well.
Prosecution has seen it. I think we've mentioned it in their opening statement. Can I approach you?
Again, you approach without permission.
Thank you. I'm not going to have you read this, Mr. Baker.
Your Honor, I'm going to object, and, sorry, I snoozed for a second there. I'm old. Object and move to strike counsel's statement that I mentioned at my opening. It actually was that I didn't mention it.
Very well.
Well, I guess the reporter knows, and it's not a big issue. Mr. Baker, is this the letter you gave us to give to Monica?
Yes.
You recognize it? It's,
Yep.
is that your handwriting?
That is my handwriting.
Okay, it's a 7-page letter.
Okay.
Now, in that letter, did you tell the truth?
No, I didn't.
What did you lie about?
About who the second person was.
And why did you lie about that?
To throw the prosecution and the police off track.
Still protecting Mr. Austin.
Was trying to.
Okay. Did you lie at all about your role in the commission of the murder?
I did.
What did you lie about?
I tried to lessen it.
Make it sound less
Horrible.
horrible. And how did you attempt to do that?
It was just a message to her to let her know how I felt. I didn't want her to think I just did it just to be as ruthless and heinous as they're trying to make it out to be. Like I was cold, like it was, and it was, but I wanted her to know.
So you came up with a version that made it look like you were kind of acting in self-defense a little bit, that he had attacked you. And
Counsel's test time.
It's his name.
well, the letter speaks for itself, but you tried to minimize
My role,
your role, how it occurred.
yes.
Now, you knew that letter wasn't going to have any effect on your sentence or your plea.
No.
So why'd you want it sent to her?
So she could see it and at least kind of feel that, or see that I did this because I wanted her. It was a way of doing that. And I also wanted to see if this letter would get out to the media, which it did.
It made you look better than you look now.
Very true.
Is that a fair statement?
It's a fair statement.
Now, you gave that letter to myself and Mr. Dawson to give to Monica, correct?
Correct.
And it contained lies in it as to what had happened that night, correct?
True.
You recall us telling you that we would not call you to the stand unless you told the truth?
I do remember that.
Did you ever then correct the lies that were contained in that letter?
Yeah, I came and told you guys the truth after a while.
Now, you say after a while. We came to see you several times, right?
Correct.
And we provided you with the information about the facts of the case that you never got from your attorney, right?
Well, I'm objecting to some facts, not evidence.
It's overruled.
You guys brought me what I asked for that I needed to know.
Some of the evidence in the
Yes.
case, including playing some of the overhears to you
That was new to me.
and telling you, the autopsy results, the facts that were being proven.
Yeah,
Yes.
Beating.
I'll allow this.
Did we then ask you to tell us what really happened?
You did?
And did you eventually do that?
I did.
Now, along the way, did you continue to try to protect Mr. Austin?
I tried.
And in some of the interviews you had with us, did you tell us that the second person was someone named JBird?
JBird, JB, yeah.
Was that a real person or someone you made up?
Someone I made up.
And you told us a story that he was the second person and joined you and so forth and so on, correct?
That was the story I gave you guys, yeah.
Now, when was it when you finally told us the truth about Mr. Austin?
When I called my mother, and she told me they're looking for a guy named JB. And it amazed me how much information was being put out, and I knew it was useless to continue this farce.
Did you know whether or not Mr. Austin had eventually confessed and gotten a deal or leniency for his testimony?
Well, yeah, you told me about it later, yeah. I didn't know about it until much, later.
And after we told you he had pled guilty, did you then confirm that he, in fact, was the second killer?
I told you guys, yeah.
But before we had told you that he had confessed to being the second killer, were you still trying to protect him?
I was.
So after he had admitted it anyway, what, you felt it was okay now because you wouldn't be a snitch?
Again, bleeding.
I'll allow that.
Yeah, I don't want to tell on the man at all.
In fact, when you told us finally that Mr. Austin was the second killer, you told us that you thought he hadn't even stabbed Mr. Sementilli at all, right?
I didn't know, no. I didn't think he did.
You only learned that when we told you that's what he had said.
Yep. I was surprised.
So after Mr. Austin had confessed, was there anyone else that you were trying to protect who had really participated in the murder?
No, there was no other participants.
And did you then tell us everything that you recalled happening that day involving the murder and your relationship with Monica, I'm sorry.
The best I could, yeah, the best I can.
And have you told us the truth today as to everything that you did and everything that she did?
To the best of my recollection. Yes,
You took an oath,
I did.
correct? Does that mean anything to you?
It does.
What?
It means that I'm swearing to God that I'm going to tell the truth. Like that statement I wrote was trash. I didn't swear to that. That was fables. That's not even a true statement. It's not an official statement.
You swore in this case.
This one I am. I'm swearing on this one.
Now, you are a convicted murderer, correct?
Yes.
And you committed a heinous crime.
Yeah, I did.
But are you telling the truth about what happened?
It's nothing to lose.
Thank you, Your Honor.